While you're on, let me just ask one of the questions that was tweeted in, and I ask you because of a technical background, and maybe Craig might want to comment as well. But one was a question about patents. How easy is it to get a patent or find a patent package? So maybe how easy is it to get a patent? And I would add, how valuable are patents really? I think people think that once I get a patent, I'm protected. Obviously, it has to be discoverable if someone's infringing upon it, and you have to be able to defend it. Yeah. But just to take a slight track from a question, again, if you'd like to ask a question, just at Pacey Lab. So something about patents, how easy they are to get, how valuable they actually really are.
It will depend on the sector. That would be the short answer. For example, in life sciences, it's extremely important. If if somebody's discovered a drug to cure cancer or Alzheimer's, one of our investments deals with that, as a matter of fact. It's extremely important. That'll give you protection for a certain amount of years, 5 to 10 years, I believe. So that by itself, if the patent has been awarded, will increase the value of the company. If the patent is pending, everybody says, yeah, that's good, but let's wait and see it. In software, from what I understand, is not nearly as important. As a matter of fact, most software inventions are not patented because there's the fear that once you put it out, you apply for a patent, everybody else will be able to see it, and then it'll get duplicated. So it depends on the sector, I guess. That's
okay, good. That's an important point. And I remember like Silicon Graphics, when they were a big player, they made a policy of not applying for patents for exactly that reason, that people discover them, copy them, and it's only going to be good for a couple of years anyway. And
correct.
Craig, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so I'd add a couple things to that. So in the spaces that I've been, we've actually generally applied for patents fairly aggressively. And I can say people often do misconceive the value of a patent for a startup. Patent is kind of a long-term play. So first of all, patents will generally take about 4 years or so before they're actually accepted, assuming everything goes relatively smoothly, especially in software. In our case, the things that we're patenting are user experience things. So they're very visible to anyone using our product, and so we kind of, so the Silicon Graphics situation doesn't really apply to us. But they take a long time before they're approved, and in that meantime, anyone can copy you. So this is not a short-term way of providing a barrier to entry. What the patent does is it kind of raises the value of your business from the perspective of investors, and from a lot of investors we've spoken to, they're very concerned about our intellectual property situation, especially because our core IP is something that you can see in our software, and so they want to find out what barriers of entry, if any, we can create to that. The other thing a patent does is it helps you when you're going to be potentially going to be acquired. So for us, if someone infringes on our patent, even after it's approved, we're not really in a great position to enforce that patent. Patent enforcement costs is incredibly, incredibly expensive, and very few investors are going to want us pouring their money down the drain enforcing a patent. On the other hand, when Microsoft comes to us and says we'd like to buy you, then they can enforce that patent. That patent becomes really valuable for them. So patents can be very helpful. I would even say for software companies, but they're strategic things. They're not short-term ways of preventing your competitors from working.